Good morning, students. Today, I am again coming with the explanation of the remaining part of this lesson, control and coordination. But one good news, maybe bad also for you, is that this your syllabus is a little bit reduced. Today only I come to know about this. And according to that reduced syllabus, so here in this lesson, control and coordination, from 7.2.2, that means movement due to growth, from that till the end, this part is omitted. That means you have to read up to 7.2.1. That means immediate response to stimulus. Up to that, page number 120. Page number 120, immediate response to stimulus, 7.2.1. Up to that, you have to read. After that, it is omitted. So as syllabus is reduced, so I think it is better for you. You can do more, you can do well, or you can do better in answering these questions because that syllabus is reduced. And in the same time, you should be careful also because as the syllabus is reduced, so questions may be asked from any part of the lesson. There is no ready-made questions, or you cannot follow only the previous year's questions because one question pattern will not be followed there. Okay, question pattern will not be followed. That means last few years, how the questions are coming, it may not come like that. Any question may be asked from any part of the lesson because the syllabus is reduced. So therefore, you should be careful. So leaving all this matter, I want to continue my class. So in the last day, we have discussed about till the central nervous system, as I can remember. So we have discussed about the central nervous system. And today I want to go to the next part. So I told you that day, I just want to remind you that three types of nervous system were there. First one is the central nervous system, CNS. Secondly, I told you that is the peripheral nervous system. And thirdly, that is the autonomous nervous system. So three types of nervous systems are there in the human body. So out of this CNS we have discussed. So today I want to discuss this PNS, that means peripheral, okay? Peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. So about this, I want to tell you that this the main components of this peripheral nervous system. So is that first of all the peripheral nerves. Okay, peripheral nerves. Oh, sorry. Near VS nerves. So what are peripheral nerves? So last time we discussed that in the brain the medulla oblongata is there, and from the medulla oblongata the spinal cord is coming. So up to this we discussed in the CNS. Now from this spinal cord, okay, 31 pairs of other nerves are coming out. That means branches, you can think about the branches of the spinal cord. So like this, 31 pairs of such nerves are coming out, and they are spread all over the body. That means from the upper part of the body till the lower part. That means it is going to the hands also, then legs also, toes also. So to each and every part of the body, it is distributed. These 31 pairs of nerves, and that are said as the peripheral nerves. Okay, so peripheral nerves, how many of them are there? 31 pairs are there. So from where they are coming out? They are coming out from the spinal cord. Okay, so these peripheral nerves can be classified again into, the motor nerves, sensory nerves, relay nerves. So that day we have discussed about that. So they may be of that type. So all these peripheral nerves forms the peripheral nervous system. Now question is coming that this peripheral nervous system, what is their function? What is the function of the peripheral nervous system? So function is that this peripheral nervous system makes the coordination in between the various organs of the body, like, eye, ear, leg, hand, toes. Okay, so all of these organs are connected with these peripheral nerves. Okay, so that is the peripheral nervous system. And again, this peripheral nervous system also controls the voluntary actions. Voluntary actions means the actions which can be controlled by our will. Let, for example, you want to walk. Okay, you want to walk. So then your feet should move. So to move the feet, the peripheral nerves are required, because peripheral nerves makes the muscles of the legs to contract or relax. And as a result of this contraction and relaxation of the muscles, your bones of the legs are moving, and due to which we can walk. So it is controlled. Same way, when we are talking, our lips are moving, our tongue is moving. So these things are also controlled by the peripheral nerves. Again, I want to write. So I'm using my hand to write something. To hold this pen, I'm using my fingers. So all these things are controlled by the peripheral nerves. So like this, every voluntary function, that means those functions which we can perform by our will. So that functions are controlled by the peripheral nerves. I hope you understood. Then we will go to the last one, that is the autonomous nervous system. Autonomous, autonomous nervous system. So what is this? So autonomous nervous system, it is the nervous system which is controlled by itself. That means it is it contains those functions which are performed automatically without the knowledge of our brain, or without the control of our brain, as well as without the control of our will. Automatically those functions which are taken place. For example, let our heart is beating. Okay, so we cannot stop the beating of the heart. We cannot start the beating of the heart. So it is automatic. So it is controlled by one type of nervous system, and that is the autonomous nervous system. Okay, again, when food is falling in the stomach, then the gastric glands, they become active, and the gastric juice is coming out, which is helping in the digestion. So same way, any part of the alimentary canal, when the food is falling, then automatically the digestive juices are coming out. So this function, that means the stimulation of the digestive glands to secrete the digestive juices, that is one type of autonomous function. That means automatically it happens, no need to think about that, no need to take care about it. So this is one type of autonomous system, and this autonomous system is also controlled by the autonomous nervous system. So like that, when we feel happy, or when we feel sad, or when we cry, when we become angry, at every time in our body, some substances are produced. Okay, as you feel happy, some substances are produced. As you feel angry, then some other substances are produced. So like this, for every activity, some chemical substances are produced in our body. So this production is also done by the autonomous nervous system. Again, you see, when we feel sad and when we cry, automatically the tears are coming out, sometimes by hearing something or by looking something. Our tears are coming out. Again, sometimes when we are laughing, then also tears are coming out. Then again, when you are feeling hot, the sweat is coming out. Sometimes the oil is coming out. So like this, various glands, they become active due to show their response to something, some stimuli or some other event or incident. So everything, this excitement or this stimulation of the organs and the secretion of the various things there, like sweat or oil or hormone or like these things. So everything is also controlled by the autonomous nervous system. Okay, I hope you understood. So these three are the main type of nervous systems in our body. First of all, that is the CNS, central nervous system. Next, the PNS, peripheral nervous system. And third one is the ANS, or autonomous nervous system. I hope it is clear to you. So now we will discuss about another type of function that is performed in our body. So that is the reflex action. REFLEX, reflex action. So now we will discuss about this. So what is reflex action? How does it occur? What is its importance? And what are the effects of this reflex action on the brain? Okay, so everything we will discuss in this part. So first of all, reflex action means those activities, those functions that are performed by some part of our body without the knowledge of the brain. Okay, that thing you have to mention, that without the knowledge of the brain. So that is very, very important. That means generally we know that brain is the head office. Okay, every function of our body is controlled by the brain. If brain is not there, then we are not alive. So some incidents, they happen without the knowledge of the brain. So actually you should feel surprised that without the knowledge of the brain, how is it possible? So some of you are, maybe you are thinking about that. So how it is possible, I am telling you that it is possible because of the spinal cord. Okay, because of the spinal cord. So you will be surprised to know that spinal cord is termed as the second brain. Okay, so why second brain? Because the spinal cord also can take decision. As brain is taking decision, the brain is controlling something. Same way, spinal cord also can take decision. Spinal cord also can control something. So one very simple example is our reflex action. So reflex action is controlled by the spinal cord, not by the brain. Okay. So by doing this, what this spinal cord is actually doing, it is helping the brain. Spinal cord is helping the brain because brain has already many things to control. Brain has to control so many things. Everything of the body is controlled by the brain. So little some work of the brain, if the spinal cord is performing, then brain is getting little bit relaxation. So this spinal cord is doing that reflex action. Now come to the point that what is reflex action? So if I give one example, then it will be very clear to you that, for example, let you were moving. So when you were moving, at that time, suddenly you step over one means let one big stone or like one carved place. So then you lose your balance and you are going to fall. Okay, so when you are going to fall, at that time what happened, your hands, they will go forward and prevent your face or your brain or your head from being getting direct strike on the hard objects. Okay, let you are here, this is you. So when you are falling, firstly what will happen when you are falling, firstly your hands will come. So the hands will prevent your face from damage. Okay, so this is done unknowingly. That means you were not ready for the incident. Your brain did not know that you will fall down and your face may get hurt. Your brain does not know. So suddenly happens. But then also, without your knowledge, you also did not think that you will put your hands forward. You also did not think, but automatically your hands are going. Okay, so how is it possible? How it happens? Again, one another example you can say. Let you say you are sitting and you are moving your hands without your knowledge. You are moving your hands, and suddenly one hot object you touch. So what will happen? As you touch the hot object, automatically your hand comes back, and most often those part you touch, let this finger is touching the hot substance, then automatically it goes to our mouth. So it also, without your knowledge, it happens. When it is going, suddenly it will come out. Okay, without your knowledge. So it is also one type of reflex action. Okay, so this reflex action, actually what happens, so when our body parts, they got a stimuli, when they by touching or by anyhow, when they got the stimuli, suddenly it goes to the spinal cord, and without giving the information to the brain, the spinal cord takes the decision what to do. As for example, in this case, so the spinal cord takes the decision that we have to save our face, we have to save our head. So that is why the hands are going forward. Okay, in the first case. So this is called a reflex action. So this reflex action may be of two types. Okay, two types of reflex actions we are getting. One is that which we get by birth. Okay, by birth we are getting. So by birth, how we are getting? For example, you see these things. Just now I am telling that if you are falling, your hands are going forward, or if you are touching one hot object, then automatically your hands comes back. So this is happening to everyone. That means if one very newborn child also it happens, he or she also will do same as you. Okay, so it is not like this that someone told you to do this, or someone you had the experience to do like this. It is not like this, because everybody knows it. Not knows, for everybody it happens. Okay, so that is by birth. Okay, and some of them are there which we are actually by practice we are learning. For example, the riding of a bicycle. Okay, riding of a bicycle. So when you are riding the bicycle for the first time, so you fell so many times, I think. Okay, you fell down so many times. Me too also. But now we can ride the bicycle without any problem. We are not thinking that how to control the handle, how to move the pedal. These things we are not thinking. Automatically it happens. But in the first time, you just remember, for the first time when you were riding the bicycle, so when you were controlling the handle, at that time you forgot to push the pedal. But when you are pushing the pedal, when you are moving the pedal, at that time you forgot to control the handle. Like this, it happened. Okay, it is very common. It happened. So only one thing we can concentrate our mind at that time. But now you see, without thinking about the riding of the bicycle, we can run. We can run it again. Some of the students, without holding the handle, also they can ride the bicycle. But it is not a good practice. Okay, I'm telling you, you don't do it, but you can. I know. So this, it is one type of reflex. It is also one type of reflex action, but it is, we are learning by practice. Same way you see when you were writing ABCD. For the first time when you wrote the letter A, so much problem you faced. Okay, it was too difficult for you to write the alphabet A for the first time. Not only you, for every student, when they are learning how to write ABCD, this A or B or C, so this each and every alphabet is very difficult for them to write. But now you, without thinking, without looking also, we can write it. So this is how it is possible, because continuous practice. Continuously we are practicing this, and now we are able to write it without any problem. So this type of reflex is not by birth. By practice we are learning. So that is unconditional. And those which we got by birth, that is conditional. Okay, so these two types of reflex actions are there. One is unconditional and one is conditional reflex action. So I hope it is clear to you. Then we will come to another important part, that is the reflex arc. Reflex arc. So generally arc means what? One loop. That means you see from here to there, again here to there. That, oh sorry, from here to there, and again from here to there. So that is a loop, or you can say an arc. That is a repetition. Okay. So reflex arc. In reflex arc, what happened? What is the reflex arc? Actually, I'm telling you. So when the reflex action takes place, then some parts of the nervous system are involved. First of all, the sensory organ or sense organ. Sense organ. Okay, that skin or eye or tongue, like this, some sense organ. It is involved. From the sense organ, one nerve, which we say the sensory nerve. Sensory. About sensory nerve, in the first part of this explanation I told. So from the sense organ, the sensory nerves, they bring the information. That means you can say the stimuli. Let, for example, when you are touching the hot object through your hand, then your hand is the skin of your hand is the sense organ, and that information that it is hot, that information is carried by the sensory nerve. So it is carried to the spinal cord. Here the spinal cord is there. Spinal cord. Okay, so spinal cord got the information. Then spinal cord decide to do something. To bring back the hand after touching the hot object. So for that, the spinal cord is giving the instruction. So that is carried out from the spinal cord to the target organ. So in this case, the same hand to the target organ. Okay, the target organ. That means the action will happen in which organ? That is the target organ. So to the target organ also one nerve is bringing the information, and that is the motor nerve. You know that day we have discussed motor nerve. Okay, and this information from the sensory nerve to the motor nerve, it is carried through the spinal cord by the relay nerve. Relay nerve. That day we have discussed about this. I think you can remember. So these things are involved. First of all, sense organs should be there. Then sensory nerves, which will carry the information to the spinal cord. Then definitely the spinal cord should be there. Okay. Then the motor nerves should be there, which will carry the instruction of the spinal cord towards the target organ. One target organ should be there. So that means which organ will work, that is the target organ. So to the target organ, then motor nerves are bringing the information. So motor nerves are there, target organs are there. And as well as the relay nerves, which are communicating the information in between the sensory nerve and the motor nerve. So that relay nerve also should be there. So these are the components of the reflex action. That means when one reflex action occurs, then all these things are involved. Okay, sensory organ, sensory nerve, spinal cord, motor nerve, target organ, then the relay nerve. All these are involved. Now you see, if you think properly, then you are looking that from here it is starting, going through the spinal cord, it is coming back here. That means one arc is completed. So this arc is said as the reflex arc. So in a reflex arc, what are the components of the reflex arc? First of all, the sense organ, sensory nerve, spinal cord, motor nerve, target organ, and the relay nerve. So these are the components of the reflex arc. Okay, so this means continuity, or the order through which the informations are carried in between the sensory organ to the target organ through the spinal cord. From the sense organ to the spinal cord, and again spinal cord to the target organ through the sensory nerve and the motor nerve. So this is called the reflex arc. Okay, I hope you understood. Now another thing is coming now, one good question or common question you can say, that is there any role of the brain in an reflex organ, reflex action? Is the brain plays any role? Okay, is the brain playing any role in the reflex action? This is a very common question. So here the answer is, direct answer is no, because we say I just few minutes before I said you that the brain did not know about the reflex action. So that means direct involvement is not there. Okay, but what happens during this reflex action, as one reflex arc is produced, so about the reflex arc, brain knows. Okay, brain is informed about the formation of the reflex arc. So that is the activity of the brain. So that means directly brain does not involve in the reflex action, but during reflex action, which reflex arc is produced, the brain was informed about that reflex arc. So that you keep in your mind. It is very, very important. So then another part is coming, that is the coordination in plants. So as this whole thing is not required because already it is omitted, but one thing is I can say only one thing here. Actually, coordination in plants occurs through tropism and due to the action of the hormones, but tropism is no need to discuss because it is already omitted. Only I want to tell you that in some plants like mimosa plant, thigmotropism is there. Thigmotropism. So what is thigmotropism? It is the response to the touch. So some plants and some organs of some plants, they are showing their response to touch. So that is thigmotropism. And how they are showing this in case of one touch me not plant or mimosa plant, how these plants, the leaves of the plants closes when we touch it. So that is because of the flow of the water present at the base of the leaves in the cells which are present in the base of the leaves. So mimosa plant is like this, you know, all of you have seen. Yes, the leaves is like this. Like this one leaf is, this is one complete leaf. So here you see in this point, some cells, those cells are there. So it is when it is filled with water, then the leaf is open. And when this water comes out from these cells, then these leaves they close. So like this, due to the movement of the water present in the cells, this closing and opening of the leaves of the mimosa plant, it is controlled. So that is one example of thigmotropism. So that is only there in the syllabus. Other part is already cut down. Okay. So then this only from this lesson, this part only you have to read, and those things I have explained. I hope you understood. And if you understood, then you note down and try to answer the questions. And if you feel any difficulty there in answering these questions, you let me know. I'll help you to answer these questions. And again, if you are not understanding anything from this part, then you let me know. Okay. And that is for today. Thank you and have a good day.